And we're joined by the well-regarded Mark Feinsand, author of the New York Yankees fans bucket list. He is the author. He's with MLB.com, covering Yankees for a long time, and he joins us here on Big Board Sports as promised for a few minutes. Mark, Roger Weiland, and Chris Honorado in Albany, 104.5 at Team ESPN Radio. Thanks for a few minutes.
Sure. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Let me start with Tanaka, and then we'll get to your book. But what is the level of concern after watching Tanaka last night? Because there was a level of concern for about 4 starts, and then Friday, 13 strikeouts, looked great against Oakland, and then last night, I'm not sure what was going on out there. But what's your thoughts on Tanaka and the concern surrounding him right now?
Well, I mean, I think there's a concern that he's not pitching well and that he's got to figure it out. But everybody that I've spoken to at the organization has no concern about his health. They insist that he's healthy. He insists that he's healthy. And really, that would be the only issue they'd be really worried about, is if there was a physical problem. They believe it's mechanical. They believe it's something they just need to address and fix and figure out. And, the guy's got a track record of being a very good pitcher for a very long time. And, Larry Rothschild was considered one of the, better pitching coaches in the league. So, they believe they're going to figure it out. And, if you're a Yankee fan, I guess you have to just have faith that they will. It's not like there are any other better options that are waiting in the wings.
Aaron Judge, Mark, has captured everybody here with his tremendous play. Although last night he's got to make that play in right field and didn't come up with the line drive. But overall, what's your impressions of Aaron Judge? Are we hyping this young man too much? We did this last year with Sanchez, and he's not yet started to live up to what the hype was a year ago at the second half of that season. But how about your overall impressions and the hype meter for Aaron Judge right now?
Well, I mean, it's not surprising given his personality, his size, all that he's captivated people's imaginations and gotten this much attention. If he continues down the path he's on right now, he's going to be a huge star in this league. And I think the fact that they put out the first All-Star balloting yesterday, and he was second among all players in the American League in votes, behind only Mike Trout, tells you that it's not just a New York thing. This guy's becoming a national story. So, I think he's the kind of kid who can handle the pressure. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a really nice kid, which I think gets overlooked sometimes. I think he's well liked by people inside his clubhouse, and I think respected even already by players and teams around the league. So, we've always wondered sort of who would be that next face of the franchise. Judge is certainly off to a nice start in trying to seize that role.
Hey, Mark, Chris Honorado up here with Roger as well. In 2015, back to spring training, in a Daily News piece you wrote, you said that Judge had a huge future in pinstripes. Did you see this coming? And then my back end of that is Fred Lynn and Ichiro are the only 2 guys to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. Is that something you think Aaron Judge is capable of?
Well, I think he's capable of it for the sole fact that the contenders that you would normally think of in the American League have all, have a big strike against them already. Trout was on his way to steamrolling his way towards another MVP award. Now he's out 6 to 8 weeks, so that's going to, severely impact any chances he has. Josh Donaldson missed more than a month. Manny Machado's been terrible. Cabrera's having a good year, but nothing eye-popping. And so I think if the Yankees get to the postseason and Judge has this, 45 home run year, and hits, somewhere in the area over 280 and, is on bases up near 400 and he's got all the numbers, I don't see any reason why that can't happen. I'm not saying I would go out and bet on it, but, you certainly, you look at him here sitting on June 1st, and if you had to pick an MVP in the league, it's hard not to pick Aaron Judge right now.
We're talking with Mark Feinsand, MLB.com, author of the New York Yankees fans bucket list. Overall, though, Mark, is this a team, and I think Yankee fans going into the year thought maybe this was a year away from being contenders to actually being able to win the American League East, but here they are atop that division. Are they going to be a factor at the top, at or near the top, the entire season now from what you've seen so far?
Well, I think if they don't make any moves, any major moves, it's going to be hard for them to hold off some of these other teams just because I don't know that they have enough starting pitching to do it. Their bullpen's great, maybe the best in the league. But I just don't like the rotation for the next 4 months. That said, Brian Cashman has a history of going out and making moves at the deadline. And while I don't think he's going to trade any of his real big-time minor league pieces, the Justice Sheffields or Gleyber Torres types, or Chance Adams. He's got a lot of depth in that system that he can move some guys, maybe some of their B-level prospects that are still pretty good prospects, to bring in a starting pitcher or two. So if they can do that, then I do like their chances. I think Boston, now that David Price is back, is going to be a team to watch. And, we all sort of scoffed at Toronto after their miserable start. But they've been one of the, 2 or 3 best teams in the league for the past months. I think they were 21 and 10 or something like that in May. And all of a sudden you look and they're only, 5-6 games out of first place. So, I think the Yankees have a long road ahead of them to hold on to that division, but there are a lot of flaws in that division. I think if they can add a pitcher or two, which seems reasonable, then I think they could hang on.
Mark, let everyone know about your book, New York Yankees Fans Bucket List. Give our Yankee fans, because you're on the station that carries Yankee baseball here, 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio in Albany. What kind of read will this be for Yankee fans who will go out and buy your book?
Well, it's a fun book. It's basically a look at how to be a better Yankee fan and sort of the complete guide to being a Yankee fan. There's the first chapter is all about game day in the Bronx and things every fan should do, from opening day to Old Timers Day to a playoff game, Monument Park, the Yankees museum in the stadium, which a lot of people don't even know about, which is a terrific little sort of gem hidden away in right field. There's just, obviously a team with this kind of history, there's a lot to do. I've got a chapter on some great road trips Yankee fans should take, Baltimore being the sort of can't miss for me if you've never been to a Yankee-Orioles game down at Camden Yards. Beautiful ballpark, a lot of Yankee fans there at all times, and the Babe Ruth Museum just a few blocks away. So things like that. And then we also, took an approach of you shouldn't have to have money and be able to travel or go places to do things to enhance your fandom. So there's a lot of stuff in there about things every Yankee fan should know, some great moments in team history. I talked to a lot of the people who were involved in those moments, some legendary Yankee stuff, and also some fun stuff you can do at home to enhance your love of the team, like, watching the Yankees on Saturday Night Live or Seinfeld, or reading some great Yankee books, some great Yankee movies. I talked to Billy Crystal for a long time about 61, which was a lot of fun. And talked to Bernie Williams about his music career for a long time, which was also a lot of fun. So we took a lot of different approaches, and there's something in there for everybody.
You can find Mark Feinsand on Twitter at Feinsand. Simply enough, Feinsand. Mark, last thing, we'll let you get out of here, man. Billies or Stans?
I'm a Stans guy.
All right.
Actually, there's a chapter in the book. There's a piece in the book about Stans.
Right.
How it's a must visit for every Yankee fan who's never been there. Pregame at Stan's Sports Bar. It's definitely an experience.
Mark, keep up the great work. Thanks for a few minutes here on Big Board Sports. We'll get back in touch.
All right. Thanks, guys.